Bonjour. Hello. Bonjour means hello in Ojibwe, which is my original language. My name is Ashley LIttlewolf, and I'd like to talk a bit about poverty today. Who or what does poverty look like? Poverty can look like me. Growing up on the Leech Lake Reservation in Minnesota, my family didn't have a lot of money. We were often living paycheck to paycheck without a lot of support and guidance. It seemed like living in crisis and survival mode would be a never-ending cycle. I eventually became a first-generation college graduate, armed with determination to make a difference. My passion for helping others who are living in poverty is so important to who I am. I relate to the stories of every client that I serve because I have been there too. I think we can all better relate to an issue when we have experienced it firsthand. I am a career coach at Seneca. Our mission is to serve low-income families in hopes of them achieving self-sufficiency. Being a part of the team at Seneca allows me to support the whole family by connecting them to resources such as childcare, Head Start, and rent or emergency assistance. Career coaches focus on long-term support. If we are not addressing the barriers of a family, the likelihood of them obtaining and maintaining livable wage employment decreases. I am extremely grateful to be a part of the solution for the families, walking alongside them as their cheerleader, coach, motivator to continue towards their goals. I want you to imagine sitting at the table at a homeless shelter. Your 3 children are with you, and you're helping them to do the distance learning in the thick of the pandemic. You recently arrived at the shelter after fleeing a dangerous situation. You're scared and alone. Yes, there are a lot of jobs in our community, but how can you start job training or find employment without a stable place to live, enough food to eat, or safety? That's when I met Stephanie. We were able to act quickly to get an apartment at the Arbors at McCormick Park, also supported by United Way. This housing would allow the family stability while rebuilding their lives. I told Stephanie about my upcoming CNA class that was starting, and she immediately lit up. Having experience in the healthcare field and the class being offered online, this offered a glimmer of hope for her. Stephanie began her CNA classes while still living in the shelter, and she stayed focused and determined, and today is working as a CNA and living in her own apartment with her family. This is what career coaches do. We help people like Stephanie see hope when all seems hopeless. This family's ability to overcome is truly inspirational, and I am extremely grateful to be a part of their support system. Rose is another amazing example of who you help when you give to United Way. I remember the day I met Rose. We sat across the table from each other in my office. The barriers that this family was facing was overwhelming, to say the least. A single parent with 3 children, struggling to make ends meet during a pandemic. She was balancing working a minimum wage job with distance learning at home. With the 3 children, it is not an easy feat. Rose looked at me and with tears in her eyes, and she said, "It's too late for me." Thinking it was too late to pursue an education and start a career. At that moment, looking into her eyes and seeing her be so discouraged about her future, I will never forget it. Over the next few weeks, I empowered and encouraged Rose to take a chance on herself and begin job training to become a CNA. For the first time, I saw Rose see another future for her family. At one point, their electricity was disconnected right in the middle of class, and I was able to act quickly to have the power restored so that she could stay focused on her success instead of worrying about whether her lights would be on or if the food would be good to eat after she got done with class. I was there to support Rose, and she took her test to become a CNA. In January, Rose started her dream job caring for people with dementia at a local nursing home near downtown Fargo. One of the most impactful conversations that I had with Rose was after a couple of months at her new job. She told me, "This was the first time in my kid's life that I have been able to pay all of my bills. And I still had money left over to take my kids shopping and to even go out to eat as a family." This might seem like a simple comment, but what I heard was that this family was no longer living in crisis and poverty. Rose said, "Every day that I wake up, I am so happy to go to work and to know that my kids are cared for. That is the most important thing to me." Her kids have the chance to break the cycle of poverty. This is what Rose had to say. To us, having someone say, "You can do this," it might be a simple thing, but to so many people that I work with, it is life-changing. Many of them have never had anyone in their corner cheering them on, showing them that they have potential and that they're worthy. This is the change you create when you give to United Way. This is the power of believing united. Together, we help people like Stephanie and Rose succeed united. Thank you for believing in what career coaches can do for our families in poverty in our community.